Is this the worst Dokkan take of all time? Well, I'm gonna say yes and no. I'll explain that answer in a second, but right off the bat, that answer might surprise you. The reason it might surprise you is because, obviously, I myself have said, this unit over here, the LR Blue Boys, the Vegeta unit, the Blue Vegeta unit, I've said, and I stand by this by the way, I've said that this unit is the single most valuable unit in the game, second to none. More valuable than Orange Piccolo, Bulma, so on and so forth. But the reason I'm saying that this is the worst take and not the worst take at the same time, actually that doesn't make sense. The reason why I'm saying that this could be true based on how you look at it. Okay, I'm not making sense right now. Let me think about how to word this. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Based on individual performance, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is the superior unit. I will say that right here, right now. Based on individual performance, Orange Piccolo, Bulma, a lot of units are better. Well, not a lot. Certain units are better than the Blue Boys. But based on overall impact, based on overall value, I would say the Blue Boys are better. Or more valuable, let's say, not better. Because, well, the reason why I think the Blue Boys are the most valuable unit in the game is because of two reasons. Number one, their busted leader skill. The single best leader skill in the game, number one. And then number two, combined with that leader skill, they also have they are very good in slot 1. Those two things combined, in my opinion, makes them the most valuable unit in the game. Not only do I think they are the most valuable, but I would actually stay consistent with that. And I would say, if you could only buy one unit with coins, right now, this would be the unit that I recommend you buy, the Blue Boys. But again, based on individual performance, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, I would agree, is better. But again, I mean, I've explained it quite thoroughly now. Quite thoroughly now, sorry. Words are difficult. So let's move on. Anyway, I think this feels like the worst Dokkan January ever. I mean, it's hard to say that because obviously compared to last year, this year's January for Dokkan is pretty bad. But again, to be fair, last year was an exception. Last year was Orange Piccolo. Last year was Beastless Gohan. While this year is not as hype in January, it's also not as disappointing. Last January in Dokkan, like, it might have been the best January in Dokkan ever. But at the same time, it was also the most disappointing month in the history of this game with Beastless Gohan. So, while it's not as hype this year, it's also not as disappointing. So I suppose you can find a balance with that. But again though, if we're being honest, like, comparing to last January is very unfair, because that was an exceptional January. We got some predictions for the 2024, just in general, for the anniversary and for everything else as well. So let's go through this. For the anniversary, the boy Annie is predicting MUI Goku and Beast Gohan. Again, I will say this. Obviously, I want Beast Gohan on global at the same time, but my personal bias aside, that would be the greatest celebration of all time. Part 2 LRs would be Gammas and transforming Jiren. Again, I'm not against that. And then these would be the easy A's. But if we get all these easy A's, that would be disgustingly hype. The only thing that makes me doubt that is that there's no, like, all of the easy A's are from the TOP. So none of them relate to Beast Gohan. But let's move on. And then the March Dokkan Fest would be Lord Slug, and then the Turles unit would easy A. I'm down, certainly not against it. And then Saiyan Day, he's saying that we could get a Dokkan Fest exclusive Wrathful Broly or Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I think this year, whether it's for Saiyan Day or not, we're gonna see a standalone Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But I think predicting Broly or Vegeta for Saiyan Day is a very reasonable prediction. And then LR Tech Broly would easy A. That would be sick. That would actually be sick. And this Broly is definitely in line for an EZA. And we do need a brand new Broly unit in general. And then the April Dokkan Fest, he's saying that we could get a Modulius. I don't really care if we get that or not. But then Tech Ultimate Gohan would EZA. And Tech Ultimate Gohan is arguably the most anticipated unit, well, EZA of all time. So we'll see what they do with that. The April LR is he's saying that we could get LR Kefla. I'm not really the Kale and Caulifla's biggest fan, but if you want to give them an LR, sure. And then these two could EZA. The Caulifla with guaranteed dodge, and then the Kale who's got a guard and stacks defense. So that could be an interesting combination of EZAs there. And then for Golden Week, he's saying that we could get a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Bojack. Ooh, you best believe I would be hyped for that, because Gohan is obviously my favourite character, and that would come to both Global and JP at the same time. Although, to be honest, this year, I'm thinking I'm gonna skip everything except the anniversary on Global and also the worldwide celebration. But we'll see what happens, If I do that, this would be the first time ever I've skipped so many banners, and I always skip a lot of banners anyway. So next we've got LR Demon King Piccolo, beautiful, following Lord Slug a few months later. That would be sick. And then he's saying that we could get a Dokkan West exclusive Chilled with the EZA of this Bardock. Sure. I don't really care, but sure. I wouldn't care about that celebration, but sure. And then the June LR would be LR Super Saiyan Bardock, which could actually be sick, to be fair. A Goku and Bardock unit, like what Legends got, would be epic, to be fair. And then over here, he's got a Goten and Trunks that fuse into Gotenks unit, which could be decent. Don't particularly care, but it could be decent. Is that the Tanabata? Oh yeah, it is. It says it right there, the Tanabata celebration. And then for the Carnival LR, he's saying we could get a Kid Buu. I mean, Kid Buu is something that a lot of people have been asking for years, and we still don't have one. So that is, like, out of everything here, you can argue this is the most needed thing in Dokkan, aside from Beast Gohan, obviously, because it's Beast Gohan. And then we've got a Tapion. Then we've got, what's this? Is that a Super Saiyan Goku? I don't want Super Saiyan Goku, I'll be honest. If we're getting Broly, give us a Super Saiyan Gohan. Or at least a Gohan and Goku, just not Goku on his own. Because we get too many base form and Super Saiyan Gokus. Or at least give him a different name. And then, what? A Carnival Super Saiyan 4 Goku? Oh, he's saying a full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, with these two getting their EZAs. That would be epic, to be fair. And then the EZA of this guy, bloody hell. That would be an incredibly hype celebration. Very unlikely this will happen, like, to the T. But if we did get something like this, it would actually be sick. And then the EZA of him, and then Dispo, and then Topo, and then these two Pepigal units. What? The EZA of Broly, Chila, and Lemo. To be fair, it is coming. Like, it's about to be time for their EZA, to be fair. So I mean, that's not unrealistic now that I think about it. And then God Vegeta, I am down for, as I've been saying. And Goku, and then the New Year celebration, and then by then, or by the worldwide celebration, it's probably safe to assume the games will be caught up. But at the latest, I think the games will catch up by the 10th anniversary. But let's move on. No. Dokkan is better than Legends. I'm not saying any more than that. I did come across this tweet as well from the boy Minato, and I don't agree with this. I'm not a fan of Jiren, if I'm being honest. I'm really not. The reason I don't like Jiren is because there was a big contradiction in his character. Because when he was first introduced, like, he was introduced as some, like, big massive hero, like some really good guy. And then 5 minutes later, for no reason at all, he tries to kill the bystanders, the people that are already out of the tournament. Number one, that doesn't make sense, because it would have disqualified him. And then number two, it just contradicts what he was introduced as, which was a decent person. And even if he has issues, just trying to kill people for no reason is just dumb. Like, no person would do that. Well, actually, no non-evil person would do that. But then even if he was evil, even then it doesn't make sense, because he'd be disqualified. So, like, it just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense from any Like, there's no way you can make it make sense. Like, it was so dumb on so many levels. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, which character is better? If we're talking about in Dokkan 21, the unit's better. But if you're talking about the actual character, then Kid Goku's better. So I mean, that's the answer to that. It depends what you mean. There's only one thing that I want to say about this tier list, which is that her Rudagon is a little bit too high. The reason for that is because, well, realistically, he can be argued as far as number 1, but because he's got no setups, he's just not that guy. He really isn't. Not many of you all know, but I actually love this unit. Actually, many of you will know, I am also a big defender of this unit. So much so that I personally claim this is the most valuable unit in the game. 10th anniversary predictions: Gogeta and Vegeta, Gogeta and Vegeta. That would be sick. Anyway, and Global would celebrate that at the same time. Ooh, we're gonna want to have a lot of stones for something like that. Full power Jiren and Toppo should be extreme class. Sure, I mean, exactly. They just attacked a group of innocent bystanders. Well, Jiren specifically did. And then, but Toppo, you can argue either way. I think Toppo's more so neutral because he did it to defend his universe. But with Jiren, he was just his character. Like, the writing behind his character made zero sense. Like, I know someone's gonna say that Dragon Ball never makes sense, but this was just a straight up contradiction. Like, this was just like they introduced him as a decent person, and then all of a sudden, not only does he turn evil, he turns into a complete moron. Even if he's evil, what he did was stupid. Like, from a logical perspective, it was just dumb. Like, is he trying to get eliminated from the tournament? Like, it didn't make sense whatsoever. It's just so dumb, and that's why I don't like his character. Like, in Dokkan, I might get hyped for him because he looks cool, but in terms of the anime, I just didn't like him. DFE LRs I want to see in 2024: Gotenks, Vegeta, Kid Buu, and Baby. I'm not against it. Personally, I want to see Beast Gohan on Global at the same time. I want to see Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I want to see Ultra Instinct Goku. I want to see some fusions. I want to see... What else do I want to see? It's a good question. I'll think about it and I'll get back... Well, if I remember, I'll get back to you. And if we do get Gogeta and Vegeta for the anniversary, like, if this prediction comes to pass, would you guys be happy with that? Me personally, I would take it. In fact, let's do a quick subscriber challenge. If you guys would be hyped for a fusion anniversary, whether it's the 9th or 10th anniversary, if you guys would be hyped for that, then you have to subscribe, because that is the challenge. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then do subscribe, especially if you just failed that challenge, because that is indeed the challenge. Also, do leave a like and comment, because those things do help out. With that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Ta-ta, adios, and bye-bye.